months ago, I was lucky enough to be invited to have a table at a small art market. I'd never done an art market before, but it was a dream of mine and something I'd even put on my 2025 bingo sheet that I made. But the opportunity came around a lot faster than I expected. The footage of my prep for this market is a bit of a hodgepodge of things. It all depends on if I had the energy to film as I made things or if my entire focus was on getting products ready. I definitely filmed less and less as it got closer to market day and I was starting to feel the crunch. I started off by listing things that I knew I could make for the market, and then I made a list of possible products. The second list was ideas that I had for a while, but I'd never tested them out. After I started that, I sketched out designs for everything I'd listed. I did get a bit carried away with some stuff. For example, I designed way more tufted coasters than I actually had time to make. And I had sketches for stickers that never made it to the Cricut machine. I know this is all okay because I'll be able to come back to those ideas later, but at the time I was really focused on making the most of the time I had to prepare, and I was getting stressed when I wasn't using it efficiently. Something that might seem a little obvious, but I learnt the hard way, is that you should always make all the products you know you can make before moving on to the ideas that are a bit more experimental. I got excited about making clay magnets and I put a lot of time into designing them and making the first couple of batches before I realised that the quality just wasn't good enough to sell and that I'd much prefer to oven bake the clay rather than air dry clay. Okay, I've made a decision that some of these I'm just gonna chuck because I've just practiced. But I don't think they're good enough to sell. I don't know if you can see it. Come on, focus. It's like wrinkly. The clay's become quite wrinkly. I don't understand it. So I'm not even gonna finish this one. I was gonna paint a silent princess flower in the middle, like I've done for this little one. Also this little one. While I think the size is better for like a cute pin, again, like it's curved. It wasn't like this when it was like originally dried, but it's just become curved. And then the paint on this one is cracking. Hang on, focus. Yeah, like the colour's good, but it's obviously not working right on the clay. This little guy is perfect. I love him, and I will put a magnet on the back and like he will be finished. This one I repainted because I didn't like the shade, but the paint doesn't cover it. You can see, and it's like, it's hard to describe, but the feeling is like you could easily scrape the paint off if you wanted to. I love him as well, but I feel like the white lines on his mouth, they were like pristine and like detailed when I painted them, but since then they've like spread out and got kind of, I don't know, like blunter. Is that a word? More blunt. So while I love him, I don't think I'd put him up for sale. Also, the green on his stalk is the same as this, so it might like crack in time. My little Animal Crossing fossil, I love it. I like the silver I added to the swirl, so this one I'll put a magnet on. But yeah, a bunch of these, like this, I just did the base coat and then I was going to paint flowers on, but again it's like it's becoming wrinkly. These are all with air dry clay. I think I'm gonna give it another go with polymer clay. I've got some like oven baked clay. See how that goes. See if I get any like better results. But yeah, I'm calling it that this current method isn't working. Like, I wouldn't feel comfortable selling any but this little ghost guy, honestly. Yeah. All of this is fine when it comes to experimentation and learning my preferences for making things, but I also saw it as a couple of weeks wasted for what essentially ended up as poor quality clay ending up in the bin. Despite this setback, I did end up making some products in the end that I was really happy with, which was shrink paper key rings. This was one of those lucky scenarios where things went right the first time and there was very little I needed to adjust when making them. I had a friend visit and they helped with the market day and they were kind enough to do all the maths when it came to pricing things. I was ready to just price things based on vibes, but they actually figured out how much it took to make something, what to charge for my time, and how many of something I would have to sell before I made a profit. It was definitely interesting to see all this. I really wanted to do a trial run of setting up my table at home to figure out the placement of everything, as well as writing out all the little price signs for everything. But in the end I didn't have time and I just figured everything out as I got there on the day. The whole time I was making things, I was also trying to post more on socials and film things for this video and for Reels and TikTok. While I usually don't mind doing social bits with making things, this just added on to the stress of the market and I felt like I definitely fell short on the amount that I posted. Another lesson learnt from this is that I should have just gave myself some time between finishing everything and the event so that I can film and photograph things to post in the run up to the market. At this point, I don't know how things will go, but I'm already so happy that I took on this challenge when given the opportunity. It's something that I've dreamed about doing for a while now, and I would definitely kick myself if I said no out of fear. So I hope you enjoy this video of me on this learning journey. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one where I talk about my experiences at the market once I've done it and everything I learned from it.